Hi students, in this video I'm going to teach you how to use the quadratic formula to solve quadratic equations. So here is the quadratic formula, and it's just a formula you have to memorize. So the way I think about it is the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's what x equals every time. Now you may be thinking to yourself, what does all the a, b, and c's represent? Well, let me put it to you this way. In order to use the quadratic formula, I'll say that again. In order to use the quadratic formula, your equation must be in standard form. And standard form is this: a x squared plus b x plus c equals 0. So then that's where the a comes from, here and here. That's where the b comes from, here and here. And that's where the c comes from. So here's an example, okay? Let's use x squared plus 4x minus 21 equals 0. So we'll start with this quadratic equation. Now, I notice it is already in standard form, so I don't have to do anything there. What I do want to identify right over here is a is 1, because there's an invisible ghostly 1 there. B is 4, and C is negative 21. So let's use the formula. X equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared, that's 16, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. So I just plugged everything in using the formula. I took my time and I was careful. Now, simplifying, negative 4 plus or minus. So now 16, well, negative 4 times negative 21 is positive 84. And 16 plus 84 is 100. So now I know the square root of 100 is 10, because 10 times 10 is 100. So I can simplify further. Negative 4 minus 10 is negative 14. Divided by 2 is negative 7. Negative 4 plus 10 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So there's your two answers. Not bad. Let me show you another one. Okay. So in this example, 2x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. So you can see the equation is in standard form. Over here, I want to identify a, b, and c. A is 2, b is negative 3, and c is negative 10. The formula is the opposite of b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. It will help you memorize it if you write it a couple times, okay? All right, so I've written down the equation, I've identified a, b, and c, and I've written down the formula. That's just how you should start every problem. Today's assignment is only 10, so I think this is a great way to start every problem. Now, let's plug in. So the opposite of b, so 3 here. Notice b is negative here, and this is calling for the opposite of b, so I put in positive 3. Okay, so now b squared, 9, minus 4 times a times c. I always put in negative numbers with parentheses. And it's all over 2a. Okay, so here, 3 plus or minus, negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 10 is 80. 9 plus 80, because it's now positive, is 89 over 4. So now, I know the square root of 81 is 9, but I do not know that this 89 is not a perfect square. So it's an irrational number, right? It's a never-ending decimal. So if this problem asked us to round it to the nearest hundredth, then you can either estimate that or use a calculator and come up with a number. You know, it's probably 9.4 or something like that. But in any event, I'm looking for exact. So I want you to leave your answer just like that. So I'm done. So I showed you one example where you had integer answers. The first one. That's actually number 1 from your homework assignment. And then I showed you one where you have an answer that is a compound number. It's part irrational and part rational, but you can leave it in that form. Good luck, and I have office hours all week from 11 to 12 for anyone that needs additional help.